How do you know what chords you're playing after you slap a capo on? So somebody asked me that, and this question comes up a bit, and I hate to say this because the internet's going to rip me apart, but this question comes up because a lot of string players don't understand, they miss a lot of the basic theory. Not that they're not capable of understanding it, but you don't have to. You don't need to understand music theory anywhere near as well as everybody else if you're playing a stringed instrument, because playing a stringed instrument is kind of like driving a automatic car, and all the other families is like driving a manual. You got to know your sharps and flats. I know those are some fighting words, but I'll answer it in a minute. First, the question of how do you know what chords you're playing? So the song that was sent as an example was Take On Me by Aha. So just the verse is A minor, talking away, D major, G major, I don't know what, C major. I'm to say I'll say it anyway. But there's a capo on the second fret. Oh no, what are we doing now? Well, the short, easy answer is this. You got to know this. Bam, the notes. So if we have A minor, then what we got is this. Start on A, but you have the second fret, right? So A sharp, B. You are now playing a B minor chord. That's it. Your second chord is D major, right? All right, so D, add 2 frets. You're playing an E major. Next chord was G major, add 2 frets. Boom, boom. A major. And the last chord was C major, add 2 frets. Bam, bam. And it's D major. That's it. We got B minor, E major, G major, not G major, sorry. The G major is now A major, and then the C major now becomes D major. B minor, E major, A major, D major. It's really hard to say them and play the muscle memory from the cowboy chords. But now why would I say such insulting things about stringed players at the beginning of the video? So this is what's going on. Take it with a grain of salt, stripping things down heavily. At its heart, a stringed instrument is easier to play and understand because the muscle memory is simpler. If I want to play a note on the guitar, I just squeeze. And then I pluck with something. I want to play this note. I go there and I squeeze. I play this note. I squeeze. All the other instruments, okay, so not all of them, but they all have their own little category, but like a saxophone and a flute and a clarinet and an oboe, each of those has a special little, each note has a special little passcode that you have to remember to be able to get that note out. The muscle memory for each note is different. With a stringed instrument, the notes are all over the place, but the muscle memory to play them is the same. To make the sound go higher and lower as you look for whatever sounds you hear in your head, it's easy to adjust. You just slide up, it gets higher. You just slide down, it gets lower. But once you get into certain registers on other instruments, it's like, oh, well, if I want to play that high note, I got to let this one up and then push these ones down here, and the thumb goes halfway, like whatever it is. There's a ton of different instruments out there, right? So what this boils down to, or I guess what this grows into, because the stringed instruments are simpler at the basic level, this compounds into creating simpler ideas down the road. What I mean by this is that if you know a chord shape, or a scale, let's start with a scale. So if I play a scale on guitar, just a do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Let's pick this note. It's a D, whatever, great. So I'm gonna play the muscle memory in my left hand from a major scale. Great, now let's play D sharp major. Slide up a fret, same muscle memory. Let's play E major, same muscle memory. I could do it with every key. G major, A major. Doesn't matter, it's the same fingers. This also builds to now it works with chords. If I play a bar chord, bam, so here's a major shape for a bar chord. There's G major, G sharp major, A major, A sharp major. Just just keep sliding it up or down or wherever it is. And then that works for every shape as long as it doesn't use open strings. Once you get open strings involved, that's another thing. And I understand that, I'm not trying to make a guitar, a banjo, or violin, or mandolin sound easy. They are not. They are physically demanding on your fingers, and they still take time and the awareness and practice to get good at them. But if somebody has a saxophone or a flute and we say, oh, we're in the key of G, that person knows what notes are going to be in there, assuming they've been playing, assuming they're a performer, and they're going to know what it is. I've worked with a lot of performing guitarists who we say, okay, we're playing in the key of A major. And you go, great, what notes are that? They don't know. They know A major is here, but what notes did they play? They don't know. Because you don't need to know. You can just do the muscle memory and it freaking works. Let's go jump onto the piano to take a snapshot at what everybody else has to go through. All right, so yeah, you can see it's wearing off, but oh well, whatever. It's for the idea. So you saw on guitar, I was able to play a bunch of different major scales and a bunch of different major chords using the same shape in the left hand. But if we take that concept and try to put it on the piano or anything else, it's not going to work out. So if I play C major, here's a C. I just roll right up the white keys. So now I'll go to a student, I'll be like, all right, well, play me A major. They'll go to an A, and then they just roll through the white keys. Does not sound major at all. The key of A has C sharp, F sharp, and G sharp. B major has all the sharps. D major has F sharp and C sharp. F has B flat. Whoops. E flat has E flat, A flat, B flat. And so if I grab a trumpet or something, I have to know which notes are going in what keys. Or any other instrument really. Whereas guitar, and now so with chords, if I go to C major, bam, there's a C major chord. Let's go to D major. No, that's D minor. You gotta have that F sharp in there. You gotta know that. E flat major has B flat. E major has G sharp. F has nothing. F sharp major is F sharp, A sharp, C sharp. G major is G, B, D. G sharp is G sharp, C, or B sharp technically. If we get into the nomenclature, but we don't need to get into that. That's crazy. Call it whatever the hell name you want. But anyway, you got to know your sharps and your flats for all the chords. Whereas guitar, you just know your starting note and then just fire off the muscle memory. So when guitarists get to a point where they're like, I want to know theory better, I'm suggesting maybe to a bunch or whatever, come back and learn some of the basics of the scales and chords and triads. But hey, that's how to know what chords you're playing when you put a capo on. Good luck.